Hello and welcome. For auto dealers in Illinois, we're about to talk about one small number that is becoming a very, very big problem. If you're in the business, you've got to understand this fee. It's absolutely crucial for avoiding some serious compliance headaches down the road.
Here it is, $377.63. That's the maximum documentary fee for 2026. Now, on the surface, that seems pretty simple, right? It's just a number. But trust me, this number now represents a major compliance trap.
You see, the problem isn't the fee itself, it's how you advertise it. We've hit this weird flashpoint where the old Illinois rules are clashing directly with new federal enforcement. What used to be the standard, safe way of doing things, well, it's now a significant risk. So, how are you supposed to navigate this? Well, here's our game plan. We'll start with the fee itself, then we'll unpack this conflict between state and federal rules, really get a handle on the FTC's new all-in standard, see the risk of sticking with old habits, and finally, lay out the clear best practice for 2026.
Okay, first things first. Let's quickly talk about where this number even comes from and, why it keeps changing on us every single year.
So the doc fee isn't a static thing. It gets adjusted every year based on the Consumer Price Index, landing at $377.63 for 2026. And while keeping up with that annual change is part of compliance, the real problem isn't the number itself. It's all about how you're required to disclose it. And that brings us right to the heart of the issue, this direct conflict between how Illinois and the federal government look at this fee in your advertising. This is the fundamental conflict, right here. For years, Illinois was fine with the doc fee being a separate plus item in your ads. But now, federal guidance has created a new reality, this all-in pricing model that demands total transparency.
So let's really dig into that federal standard. The FTC's all-in approach is what's completely changing the game for every dealer out there.
The entire federal approach really hinges on this one concept, all-in pricing. And the goal is super simple. Make sure the price the customer sees in an ad is the actual price they can pay for the car itself, and that excludes only the government fees. The logic here is pretty straightforward, and it breaks down into three clear pillars. First, mandatory inclusion. Since the doc fee isn't optional, the FTC says it's part of the vehicle's required price. Simple as that. Second, price prominence. This all-in price has to be the biggest, most obvious number in any ad. And third, limited exclusions. The only costs you can add on top are those government fees, tax, title, and license. So what's the actual risk if your dealership just decides to stick with the traditional Illinois method? Let's break that down. I'm willing to bet this exact phrase is pretty familiar to your marketing and compliance folks. I mean, it's required by the Illinois Administrative Code. It's been the standard for a long, long time. And here it is, the crucial disconnect. Using that phrase might keep you compliant with the letter of the state code, but it directly violates that federal all-in pricing standard. And that contradiction is exactly what puts a target on your back for FTC scrutiny. This is why sticking to the old way is just so risky. You can follow the Illinois rules perfectly, use the exact wording from the admin code, make it clear and conspicuous, even make sure it's in 10-point font, but you're still exposed. The fatal flaw is that this method separates the doc fee from the price, and that's the one thing the FTC's new standard says you can't do.
Okay, enough about the problem. Let's get to the most important part, the clear, actionable solution to navigate this whole mess for 2026 and stay compliant.
This is the single most important takeaway from this whole explainer. Just roll the doc fee into your top-line advertised price. It's that simple. It aligns with the federal guidance, and it takes the risk right off the table.
You should think of this table as your new compliance cheat sheet. From now on, your main advertised vehicle price has to be the most prominent number, and it must include the doc fee. That means the only things that can still be listed separately are tax, title, and license, the fees you collect for the government.
So, we'll just leave you with this final thought. The gap between those old state rules and the new federal expectations is closing fast. The time to review your practices and get with this new reality is right now, before it becomes a really costly problem.